Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video I'm going to talk to you about an article that just came across my desk, and it has to do with one family who had a son who had a long-standing history of substance use. And when they heard about what happened to the Reiners and their son Nick and the allegations against him, it really resonated with them. And I know it has resonated with a lot of the families that we speak to. And I wanted to share this article with you. I'll put a link to it in the description. But there's just some things here that just, that just really are, they're just some of the things that we see on a daily basis here. And I'm just going to give you some of the information here. You're going to read the article for yourself. But I think if you are a family, especially mums and dads who have an adult child with a long history of substance use and mental health issues, you're going to relate to this. And I think the reason I want you to read this is because I want you to understand something, that you are not alone. Okay, you're not the only family who's dealing with this, and you don't have to suffer. One, you don't have to suffer alone, right? Because there are other families dealing with this, and there are options. But let's talk about the article just for a second, and just let me give you some of the information here. About 1 in 6 Americans, 16.8% or 48.4 million people, had a substance use disorder in 2024. This can happen to anybody, no matter how rich you are, no matter how poor you are, no matter how powerful you are. Truer words were never spoken. We have represented people. Some came from some were wealthy families, some were poor families. They were white, they were black, they were Jews, Christians, Muslims. I mean, I'm going to tell you, behavioral health does not care who you are. Okay, it does not discriminate. It simply doesn't care. And so I'm glad they talked about this. We talk a lot about how it's a family disease. This is the dad speaking. It has tremendous impact on others' lives. Again, just truer words never spoken. This is why they call it a family disease. When families call us and we speak to them, their family is on the verge of total collapse. A behavioral health disease is like a metastasizing cancer. It will destroy your family, okay? And if something tragic happens to your adult child, because that does happen, and I don't sugarcoat this stuff, so I'm going to tell you that, I promise you, you'll probably never get over that, okay? And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to give you the truth. The truth. The dad goes on to say, I'm afraid that people are going to take their stigmatization of addiction and substance use disorder and fill in the gaps and try to make sense of what happened. Because of his history, they're talking about Nick Reiner, because of Nick Reiner's history, the first thing everyone is talking about is addiction. Addiction can make people act unpredictably. And some people using substances like alcohol, meth may become aggressive. Yeah, I mean, again, this so resonates with some of the conversations we have with families. The one thing that's predictable about handling a case like this is that it's unpredictable. Okay, your loved one is in treatment, they left, right? They have a good morning and a bad afternoon, a good day, bad day, right? This is not a straight line. First of all, recovery is a journey. It's not a destination. And it's a little bit like the stock market. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. Good days, bad days, good days, bad days. But the trajectory, if you work the program, is up, like the stock market. But it takes time. If you can't get your loved one to work the program, then the consequences can be severe. Okay? And I know I've talked about that, so I'm not going to beat that dead horse. But you get the point where I'm going with this, because this is a disease, and if it's untreated, it's going to get worse with time. Parents feel loneliness. Oh God, how true is that? Wondering if the addiction stemmed from some parental failure. Feeling responsible for a child's actions, no matter how old they are, worrying about judgment from others of both parent and child. My goodness me, that is so unbelievably true. And I tell families all the time when they speak to us, first of all, if you call our office, you speak to one of us, whether you hire us or not is irrelevant. It's a confidential conversation, okay? Whether you speak to my intake team, one of the attorneys, whoever it happens to be, a paralegal, this is a confidential conversation, okay? Which means that we don't get to repeat the information you provide to us to anybody outside of our office. We might share it internally to discuss the case and what we can, what options might be available, but it's not going outside of the four walls of the office. Now, if you want to talk about it because you're the potential client, that's up to you. But it's confidential with us. The other thing that I think is important to know is that when you call us, it's a no judgment zone. I'm not here to judge you. My team's not here to judge you. We're here to give you options. Now, are there going to be times where one of us will say, listen, this is what I think that you need to do. This is the best option. Yeah, at a risk of offending people, there are going to be times with a client's permission that I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I'm going to tell you the truth. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's 30 days of treatment or 60 days of treatment, and then it'll all be good. We can all sing Kumbaya, and it'll all be over. It doesn't work that way. Okay, we've handled enough cases and spoken to so many people over the years. I know how it works. I know the formula that works. So if you want to have an honest conversation about how we can help you, great. We're here to help you and give you some options, but it's a no judgment zone. And this is, by the way, so important in this article. This is not your fault. It's not mom's fault or dad's fault or the grandparents' fault or the siblings' fault or the spouse's. It's no one's fault. It's not about somebody did something right or did something wrong or was good or was bad. It just happened. Somebody in the family got sick. This is disease, and it's no one's fault. Okay, it's no one's fault. So anyway, that's what's in the article. I would really encourage you to read it. I think it really resonated with me because what these parents saw when they heard about Nick Reiner is what a lot of our families are seeing and they deal with, and this is what they tell us. So I'm going to share this with you. I'll put a description in the video, underneath the video, so you can read it for yourself. If you want to call us and talk to us about what's going on with your family and see what options are available, great. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any comments or questions, post them. I read all of them personally, just me, and I'll respond to them, normally within 24 hours. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because I try to put out a video, I try to give you guys content twice a day, and it's for free. I want you guys to have the information that you're going to need so you can decide if we're ready to have a conversation with us about what options might be available to save your family. And with that said, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.